Hey, peace and blessings, family. It's Nero here, and in this video, I want to talk with you guys real briefly about the seventh house in astrology, what the seventh house deals with. And so, with that being said, let's get right into it. And so, the seventh house, for the most part, or rather, better yet, in a nutshell, is the seventh house is the house of relationships. Pretty much, that's pretty much it. But of course, nothing is ever that simple. It always goes a bit deeper. So, the seventh house is not only the house of relationships. We talk about relationships. What do relationships consist of? It's actually in the word. Um, relationship. Take out the shin, you get relate. So relationships are all about being relatable and relating. And how are you able to relate to be relatable to others, relate to them? Yeah, you sacrifice you sacrifice yourself, and are giving of yourself, not because you're weak or anything, which is how people are conditioned to think they're in a society when they take the high road, or you know take a seat back. But anyway, that's for other video. I don't need to get into that right now in this video, but more so because you are really wanting to listen to what others have to say, because they may have some good advice to give to you, or it may be in a more intimate relationship, and like a partner who you may seek to marry. And I say that because this is house is also a house that indicates the kind of partner you'll marry to, but I'll get to that in a minute. And so say the more intimate one, you have like a your intimate partner. It could be that you are letting them have some of the spotlight, so that it can be balanced out, and no one feels like they're above the other. And I can get really deep with that, but yeah. So yeah, when I think about house relationships, just think about this as being the house of um, just think about this being the house dealing with how you like to relate to others, or or vice versa. So because it can always go both ways. But anyway, let's actually get into the planetary ruler of this house and the sign. And so actually the sign first, then the planetary ruler, because that could get really confusing. So the sign that is ruled by the seventh house, the house of relationships, is the relationship sign, Libra. And what is Libra? Libra is an air sign first and foremost. What does the air sign deal with? Air. The air element by default deals with um, you know, um, being logical about things, trying to make sense out of things in order to bring structure and balance to things and keep it organized and in good detail. But then you got Libra, that's a part of this element, but Libra is the cardinal air sign. And what does that mean? Libra likes to be the leader and likes to be the initiator and the creator when it comes to things dealing with um, communication, you know, being logical, bringing about structure and or organization through um, you know, analyzing and critiquing things like that, because that's air. So yeah, and then this is why since Libra's the cardinal air, and since Libra's the cardinal air sign, this is why Libras are always so explain that. Now you can kind of understand a little bit why Libras are so relationship oriented. Assuming you didn't know that, chances are you probably did. But for those who didn't know, now you know. And then to put even more of an influence on how relationship oriented this house and that sign is, um, that planet that rules over this house and that sign is Venus. And what is Venus? Venus is the planet of love and beauty and value and self-worth for the most part, but usually love is the most emphasized. And when we're talking about love, what are we usually we're talking about love, what does love usually consist of? Um, it usually consists of the things that what it is we value for the most part, what it is that we like to what it is that we have to offer to the world. And this kind of mentioned the second house. And more so, let's talk about the offering part. Offering is another way of saying like giving. When it comes to love is a thing that is given and received. And so yeah, that's the main thing I want to talk about for the most part. So the very act of giving and receiving is an act that is something that brings about balance, because naturally when you give something to someone, there's usually that expectation that you get something back here. And you know, when I was gonna say when that's not met, that could lead to some frustrations, but I do not want to get too into detail with that in this video. But yeah, for the most part, with love, how we have to give and receive it, that part right there is also can also show you why Libras carry such energy and are so oriented towards relationships too. And then it's also associated with this seventh house as well. So yeah, you could you could put it all together. It's all connected. But um, I don't know if I mentioned the descendant real quick. I don't know if I mentioned the descendant earlier, but the descendant is just it's the sign opposing our ascendant. It's what we seek in a partner. The traits that we like the traits that we like to see in a and excuse me, the traits that we like to see in a partner that we would find good for us for the most part. Or other people say that it might be how we see others that are not like us. I've heard plenty of things, but mainly for the most part, it's usually the descendant usually embodies the traits that we're looking for in a partner. So yeah, let's see. Go if you're so if you want to know what traits you're looking for in a partner, go look at what your seventh house sign is. And for a quick example, my descendant sign is seventh house. So my descendant sign is not seventh house. Come on, my descendant sign is in Cancer. So what does this mean? I would be looking for a partner who can be provide me like emotional nourishment or emotional security, and is able to nurture me and be like aware and receptive of like my needs pretty much. So yeah, that's like Cancer descendant in a nutshell. Now, sorry if you hear anything upstairs. That's just my cousin, but it is what it is. And so yeah, we kind of talked about the Cancer descendant, my descendant. So we might as well talk about the planet that rules Cancer being in this house as an example. And so let's put Moon in the seventh house. What is the moon? What does the moon deal with? The moon deals with your emotions and feelings, what it is that you need in order to be fulfilled. So for the most part, with moon in the seventh house, you need a part, you need like relationships or part, you need like a relationship or a partnership in order to feel, emotionally secure within yourself. And then, by the way, moon in seventh house is also like moon in Libra. So if you have a Libra moon, you can put the pieces together. Otherwise, I just kind of save somebody who might be interested in learning, wondering about the Libra moon sometime. So yeah, moon in the seventh house. Relationships are what emotionally, secure, provides you emotional security and emotional stability and nourishment. So yeah, moon in the seventh house in a nutshell. And say the sign Cancer is here, you know. Oh yeah, and then don't forget that the signs in the houses are also how we may approach that. The signs in the houses are also how we approach. The signs in the houses are also the energy that we carry into the house, and vice versa. So I talked about what is that. I already talked about the vice versa part where that's what we seek in the partner, and the partner bring it to us. But it could also mean that we could bring that Cancer energy to this house too, where we may be, where we may like to be nurturing and secure, emotionally secure for the person that we are, in a partnership with. But you get it. So yeah, but that's gonna be my take on this, the seventh house, guys. If you enjoyed this, well, that's cool, and if not, that's also cool. And other than that, I guess I'll talk to you guys. I love you guys, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video where I talk about the eighth house and what the eighth house deals with. But yeah, until then, I love you guys, and I'll talk to you later. Peace.